Hey guys, Kyle here from LRMonline.com and the Genreverse YouTube channel. I want to say thanks to Crunchyroll for the opportunity to speak with the English voice actors for Rudo and Injin from the hit series Gachiakuta, which is streaming right now on Crunchyroll. So after this video, go check it out if you haven't already. So I got to speak with Bryson Baugus, who plays Rudo, and Christopher Wehkamp, who plays Injin. It was a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and leave some comments down below about what you think of the series and of the voice actors.
Love your setup.
Thanks, I appreciate it. It is unfortunately a green screen as we are redoing that. So what's back there is going to be put on a bunch of new shelves with some different soundproof paneling back there and some nicer lighting. So, but thank you very much.
Yeah.
How's it going, guys? My name's Kyle.
Great.
I'm here with the Genreverse YouTube channel and LRMonline.com. Let me say first, thank you so much, Christopher and Bryson, for doing this interview, and thanks to Crunchyroll for allowing us and setting it all up. I appreciate it. So I have, like I said, Bryson Baugus. Did I say that correctly?
Yes.
And Christopher Wehkamp, who voiced Rudo and Injin, respectively, in the series. Rudo, our main character, young kid, thrown away with the trash, as we'll learn. You know, what's the old saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure. And his big brother, so to speak, Injin, who finds him and kind of helps him along his way below what we call the sphere. Rudo and Injin, man, they're throughout the whole series so far. Great characters. And I got kind of a question. I'll start with you, Bryson, and then Christopher, you can answer this as well if you would like. Where do your guys' character voices come from? Every voice actor's just like every other actor. We get to pull on different experiences, people you know, things like that. But where's Rudo's voice come from, Bryson?
I come at a lot of my character voices from a technical aspect. I have a theater background, and I kind of identify elements of their personality and elements of their upbringing or their surroundings to try and incorporate that into how I tend to tackle a character. So like with Rudo in particular, he's got this sort of grungy kind of downtrodden look to him. He's been raised in an area where he's just constantly rejected. And so like, I feel whenever he's not angry or lashing out or shouting at anything, he tends to keep more to himself. He kind of just like closes in on himself, and he doesn't really project too much. And I feel like having that more rough surrounding, he's surrounded by a lot more dirt, dust, and grime and stuff, so that kind of gets into the vocal cords, and it can give you a little bit more of like a rougher texture to it. So that's just kind of from the technical side of things how I explore just different voice types and stuff, and that's kind of what I went into my audition for Rudo. That's what I went into my audition for Rudo thinking about. I sentences.
Gotcha. No, I feel you on that 100%. That's awesome. It's I'm always a big fan of the technical side of things, whether that's what's going on in front of a camera or with voices in this case, or behind. So I really dig that you think about those types of aspects of the character. I was sitting there watching the fight against Jabber, Dreadlocks guy, and I was like, man, I bet Bryson's pretty happy he's not doing like a Dragon Ball or JJK style fight with all the yelling in this, because you got to be really silent in that for a lot of parts. But whatever was said, and when it was said, there's a lot of emotion behind it, because that's a big moment in the series.
Thank you. No, yeah, I love that fight and that moment. Like you said, it's even for aside from not having to scream my lungs out all the time, it's just, I love just moments like that. I don't want to ramble too much, but yeah.
I dig it. Thanks. Christopher, so Injin, I mentioned kind of the big brother side of things. Where is his voice coming from for you?
So, I mean, kind of like Bryson, I do come from a theater background. It helps me a lot when I can see kind of an image of a character. When I'm first starting to approach the audition process, it really helps. It doesn't always work out this way, but it's so great when you can get a picture of a character, because I do feel like I can sort of associate that picture with people that I've met in my life, with experiences that I've had, and it can serve as kind of a first flush inspiration, you know? And so in the case of Engine, right away, seeing him made me think of an older kid that I knew when I was young. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, and he was a huge skater dude. And actually, ironically, his name was Chris also, but he was like 2 or 3 years older than me. And we all thought he was just like the coolest guy because he was always chill. He was always together. But he also had this really intensely unique sort of flavor to himself and like unique sort of fashion sense, even at a young age. And always had like the latest, whatever the cool hairstyle was like. And so very edgy, very much like his own person. And so that was immediately the vibe. And I started thinking about like the sort of like, just devil may care, you know, kind of way that he would talk. And so that served as a really instant inspiration in the way that I approached the sides. And looking at the sides, there were some lines in there that were just goofy, you know, that just had like humor written into them in the way that they sort of needed to be delivered. And so I kind of started playing with the idea of like Chris, the skater guy, but also like sometimes he just isn't very good at being cool. And sometimes his, you know, his impulsiveness or his goofiness shines through. And so that was kind of how I approached the audition. And I did a couple different tries on it and ended up with something that I felt like was like walking that sort of line between the two.
I dig it.
Yeah.
It works great. The characters work great with each other as well as the other cast members as well. Stepping from characters before we come back to them again, I want to get some thoughts on the story and themes that you guys are running into in this world. We live in a very disposable world in real life. We're almost encouraged to buy new TVs, cell phones, gaming systems every year, every couple of years. And you can't see this show and not feel that there's some things being said there, right? But it's not even just objects. There's the theme about people being thrown away, how disposable relationships can even be, and that hurts. Like I'm lucky enough to have a great wife for almost 20 years, and so I've got that type of companionship, but I've also spent those times alone, and I've also kind of felt discarded. Being a part of a series that is kind of, would the word poignant be appropriate? On topic, very of the time. How do you guys relate to that story? What are your thoughts and feelings on it? We'll go with Christopher this time first.
Yeah, you're right on. I mean, for me, it's like I love the fact that this is a show that's making it cool to have a band t-shirt for 15 years because maybe it imbues it with a special power. Like, I love that, you know. I love that because that's kind of how I am. That's personally, that's how I've been. Is I do tend to hang on to like toys from my youth that I've been able to keep, and I do think there's something really valuable in keeping things for a long time that means something to you, and yeah, I mean, I think a disposable society where things get discarded does seem to be pulled from from our headlines, from the real world right now. But I also think that the world that's being created is still such a mystery that, like, I hesitate to really land on any. Certainly there's some themes on the surface, but I think there's a lot going on in this story that still has yet to be revealed. And so I keep coming back to, like, there's so many fun theories that I have just only about my own character, you know, much less the whole like world at large. And like, there's so many things to think about in this show and just kind of like daydream about. I do a lot of daydreaming about this show where I'm just like, man, what if this? And like, I wonder if this, and what about this part? And what about this little detail that may mean this other thing? And like that journey of, there's some stuff on the surface, and I feel like you're right on with what you're identifying there. But I do feel like I'm super duper interested in learning what's underneath, like what is the ground of this story, you know, so to speak. I feel like we're still in the sphere in a way, and like we're gonna get to the ground eventually. So I can't wait for that.
Indeed. Bryson, same?
Honestly, you hit the nail on the head for how I feel about what's being said with the story. Like it definitely feels like it's highlighting a societal just like proclivity to dispose of things once they stop being useful to you, or at the sign of first blemish. And like you said, like it happens with things, it happens with people and relationships. Oh, this person's not doing anything for me. Why am I still hanging out with them? Let's find new friends, or like just do all the different stuff. So I don't know. I feel like you succinctly put into words a lot of my feelings.
Go me.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a chance to elaborate a little bit more on Rudo himself. You told us a bit about how you came to his voice on a technical side, but how are you relating to this character to really dig into those emotions and deliver the performance you have so far? This is a kid who's seemingly, from what we've been told and shown, been discarded by his parents, been discarded by the society where he kind of started out at, to a lower society within that one, to then be discarded again by who he thought was a childhood friend and thrown into the pit. So how are you relating to that character? How are you bringing him to life on an emotional sense?
Without getting too like in the weeds about like my own psychology and
Yes.
therapy and background,
Please, no.
I feel like I can relate to a lot of that notion of growing up in certain surroundings, growing up around certain types of people, and growing out of those situations and those types of relationships, and then feeling almost a little bit of a resentment towards those types, if that makes sense. And I feel like Rudo has given me the unique opportunity to sort of channel a lot of those resentments that I might still have at the back of my head. I generally carry myself in a very cordial way. I try not to let my anger show if ever I'm like in a situation where I feel put upon or put down. But I feel like being able to be an actor and perform characters that can be a little bit of an outlet for stuff like that. I think Rudo really fills that role for me very, very well.
Well, I appreciate it. So thank you, gentlemen, both so much. Stephanie's telling me that was my last question. But if you've got it on the top of your mind already, because you may have been asked before, what is your vital instrument, Chris?
Well, in my personal life, so I would have to say it's probably my drumsticks. I've got a pair of drumsticks that I've had basically since I started playing drums when I was like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old. And they're kind of they're beat up big time, but I can't really let myself get rid of them. Like I won't ever use them again, you know? They're just kind of, it's like the first dollar you get when you open your business. You frame it and put it on the wall.
Yes.
Like I feel like that's my beat up, chipped up, destroyed drumsticks.
So thank you guys so much. A lot of fun. Best of luck with the series, and I hope we get to see a lot more.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Bryson. Thanks again, Christopher. And of course, thanks again, Crunchyroll, for the opportunity. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Again, Gachiakuta is streaming right now on Crunchyroll. There's 11 episodes out as of this recording. I've really enjoyed the series so far, and I can't wait to see more. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below. All of that is greatly appreciated. Check out more content here on the channel. There's a lot of reactions, reviews, podcasts from back in the day. And of course, head over to lrmonline.com, which could be, should be, will be your #1 spot for all entertainment news, reviews, celebrity interviews from the LRM YouTube channel, and so much more. Except for the anime stuff. We're gonna keep that right here on the Genreverse, because that's our territory. Bye.